So in the last few months, altcoins indeed have gone up, but I think I might have actually been wrong in that the altcoin season actually has not yet started. Take a look at this chart. Back in the 2021 cycle, the end of January marked the real beginning of altcoin season, and it seems like we're following that exact playbook right now. During a true altcoin season, we don't see these kind of pullbacks like the ones that we've been experiencing, but instead we witness monster pumps day after day with little to no relief. Now this tells us two critical things. One, the crypto bull run, yes, it is indeed still here, but we're just scratching the surface of what is possible for us to make in terms of gains and life-changing wealth over the next 30 days. Number two, it's that you need to prepare now. Buying during the frenzy means risking losses by entering at the top. And in crypto, timing is everything, and the window to act is right now, and that window of opportunity is closing in day after day. So folks, here's what I'll be covering in this video. Number one, I'll be covering why I believe this bull run is still on, but not only that, why I believe this bull run is going to be the greatest bull run that we will ever experience. Number two, I'm going to be going over the 4 phases of the crypto market and where we currently sit leading up to the next altcoin season so that you know exactly how to prepare yourself next. Number three, I'll then be going over the exact strategies on how you can capitalize on this market. This includes some key points that you all need to know, including proper risk management and being able to safely offload towards the top. Next, I'll share with you the best crypto narratives and the upcoming projects to be on the lookout for. To preface this, I think we are at the cusp of one of the greatest narratives forming right now, and I'm confident that as long as this bull run continues the way it has back in 2021, we should be able to see some 10, 50x, or even 100x plays among my list. After that, I'll be uncovering the truth about this crypto cycle, because as someone who's turned a couple $100s to eventually a couple $1 million in crypto, and also recently, guys, I've been meeting some 7, 8, and even 9-figure investors who just made their wealth solely trading crypto, I've learned a lot, and I'm going to be sharing with you some things that I've never heard anyone talk about publicly. So just imagine this, you're walking around and there's a bunch of mousetraps planted. I'm going to be shining a flashlight on all of it so that you can avoid falling into a lot of the common traps that I see most new investors make. Next, I'm going to share with you guys a story. I've talked about this a few times. I've also posted it on my Instagram story where I turned a $3,000 portfolio on my futures account with Blowfin to $600,000 at its peak, but over the last few weeks, I actually almost round tripped that entire bag. Now, there's a lot that I learned from that experience, and I'm going to be sharing with you what all those are so that you don't do the same. Last but not least, I'm going to be sharing some words of wisdom here because look, crypto, I don't care what anyone says, it's not easy. This stuff is really difficult, okay? In the bull run towards the peak, yes, it could seem easy when everything is going up, but it's in moments like this when the market moves sideways or we don't have that full-blown altcoin season where you're in a constant struggle of finding good plays, managing your own greed, and putting in enough time in the market where you're learning all these things for the first time. Towards the end of the video, I'm just going to give you guys some final words of wisdom to at least put yourself a little bit more at ease and to show you guys some grace. So let's start with the 3 reasons why I believe this bull run is still on. Starting with what we call the January effect. So according to Investopedia, there's actually a terminology for this, and the January effect is a supposed seasonal tendency for stocks to rise in the first month of the year. Now, the January effect is said to occur when investors sell losing stocks in December for tax loss harvesting and they repurchase them after the new year. Now, some studies actually say that the January effect is just a market anomaly. There's nothing really to this, but what's really interesting is that within crypto, we have actually seen the January effect become more prominent than any other markets. Take a look at Ethereum monthly returns ever since 2016. You'll notice here, on average, the month of January, February, March, April, and May have had outsized returns compared to other months throughout the year. So on average, Ethereum was up over 20% in January, and going into May, it went up as high as 30%, before usually in June, we had a market sell off, and then following that we have a cool down period before things happen again. So evidence shows that historically January, February, March, April, and May tend to be the strongest months for crypto, and that's exactly the season that we're entering in. You combine that with the fact that crypto is still heavily correlated with the S&P 500, and we're actually getting more news that the S&P 500 might go through one of the best years yet. Now look, I know the US stock market has been on a rampage over the last few years. In the last 1 year, they're up over 26%. This is almost double the normal industry average where they can go up from 10 to 15% for this index. Year to date, we're up 27%. in the last 5 years, we're up 86%. That means in the last 5 years, if you just put your money into the top US stocks, that means right now you would be almost double your investment. Now, I know with crypto, you can double your money within a few hours. You could do that pretty much with your whole portfolio overnight. But the reason why I talk about this performance is that we're having indicators that this could continue on throughout the year of 2025 for these additional 3 reasons. Number 1, we're going to have explosive growth in AI and in technology. The global AI market is expected to surpass $300 billion by 2026. This also includes AI-driven productivity gains, which is going to help company profitability by an estimate 20 to 30%. Number 2, we're going to have more rate cuts coming up in 2025. More rate cuts is good. It creates a more favorable environment for businesses to borrow, invest, and spend. Now, the third reason why we believe that the stock market is going to continue to have a great year is just because we are now in a presidential election year. Donald Trump is going to enter his presidency in about the 3rd week of January, with him being pro-business, pro-crypto, and also someone who's pro-tax reforms. This is going to directly inject money back into the market. We've also seen more historical data that stocks tend to perform well in the year following a US presidential election, regardless of whoever comes into office. With that said, about a week ago, after the most recent FOMC meeting, Jerome Powell expressed his positive view on the economy, and he quoted, "We think the economy is in a really good place, and we think the policy is in a really good place too." So Powell highlighted that recent indicators suggest that economic activity here in the US has continued to expand at a solid pace, with the labor markets, pretty much people who are employed, who have jobs, still look robust, and inflation is making progress towards the committee's 2% objective. Now, following that recent FOMC meeting, that's pretty much when we had Bitcoin near its new all-time highs, coming down as low as $92,000 in a single day. That's because following the recent FOMC meeting, the S&P 500 fell by more than 3%, and this actually led to one of the biggest losses in the market, estimating to be about $1.5 trillion wiped instantly. So what can we learn from this? Well, one, we are seeing still heavy correlation with crypto and the stock market. If stocks go down, Bitcoin tends to go down. If Bitcoin goes down, altcoins get dragged down with it. It's also good to note that anytime you have big liquidation events or corrections in the market, this is actually very healthy for a broader market to continue to grow. What's great about all this is crypto is still sitting at about $3.42 trillion in its entire market cap. This here puts into perspective just how small the crypto market still is compared to broader equities markets. Now, the final reason why I think this bull run is still on and it's positioned to be the greatest bull market that we've ever had yet is just because of the power of historical trends of what we've seen in the past. Crypto markets, just like traditional ones, move in cycles. And at this point, we've seen more predictable rhythm between bull and bear markets that give us an edge in the market if we know how to recognize these patterns and play it to our advantage. I'll go over those patterns in just a little bit through the 4 phases of the crypto market, but just to understand this, crypto is not that difficult in predicting these cycles. It's clearly true when we're in a bull run and a bear market, and those bull runs are usually fueled by real events such as the Bitcoin halving. For anyone who doesn't know, the Bitcoin halving is when Bitcoin's supply of what gets mined gets cut in half. Anytime this happens, it's basic economics. I said this a lot on my channel, but I gotta reiterate, even for our seasoned investors, it's always good to be reminded because at the end of the day, you could just simplify things very easily. If you have a ton of demand, which we are having right now, it turns out MicroStrategy, a company based here out of the US, now owns 444,000 Bitcoin, which is more than what China, the US, and the UK combined all own. Now, that's not all, but in the most recent headlines, MicroStrategy wants to buy all the Bitcoin in the world, and this company is now asking shareholders for approval to sell more stocks so that they're able to buy even more Bitcoin. So clearly there's a demand for this. You have it on the institutional side, you have companies buying it, you have high net worth individuals buying it, you also have more retail getting into crypto too. You combine that with supply going down while demand is increasing, naturally that just leads to an increase in the asset's price. Now look, while history doesn't repeat itself, it often rhymes. And if you understand the cyclical nature of crypto, it becomes clear that we're not just done yet. This bull run still has legs. Not only that, this bull run's got horsepower. It's got way more to go. And if this does anything like we've seen, where in past cycles we get get even greater growth. This bull run is positioned to be even more incredible than what we've ever seen before. And with regulation coming now, with President Trump coming into office, AI becoming abundantly clear of just how much it's going to impact our day-to-day and even what it's doing within the crypto space, I believe this is going to be the last opportunity. No cap, no just, for YouTube, whatever. This is going to be the last opportunity. I think after this, it's going to get harder and harder. And it's pretty much like being able to buy into the stock market much more in the early days rather than when everyone is bought in. So if crypto works in a cyclical nature, it goes through ups and downs, how can we best predict what's going to happen next? Well, let me break this down by showing you a visual of the 4 phases of the crypto market to help you understand where we are currently. All right, so as you can see on your screen, we have the accumulation phase, the markup phase, the distribution phase, and the markdown phase. Now, crypto does not always follow this phase to a T. We usually have something called a blow off top, but then we also have a relief rally. We have a bear market trap where pretty much the market will maybe top off here, it'll go down for a little bit, but then boom, we see greater highs and highs. What I like about this though, it simplifies it and it at least gives you the more general understanding of the market for anyone who might be more new. So what is the accumulation phase? Well, this here is basically the bear market. It's the quiet before the storm, and it's when prices are low and the interest in crypto is pretty much muted. Now this here is though where smart money, long-term investors, and big institutions start quietly accumulating assets at a discount. Think of this back in 2018 if you're in crypto then, or even in 2022 where after Bitcoin hit its all-time high and things were going down, this was that accumulation phase. Following after that is the markup phase. This is actually where the bull run begins. Prices start climbing up, and as positive sentiment grows, you see more and more people talking about it. Your coworkers are like, hey Jimmy, I just heard about ski mask dog or Bitcoin or whatever. They start buying in. We start seeing interest in retail coming up. And it's in these moments where we see the market start climbing and rallying until eventually you hit the top. The markup phase is where you make the most amount of money in crypto, especially if you only know how to long. This doesn't mean that you got to beat yourself up if you didn't buy in anywhere near the accumulation phase, because a lot of the best projects too, they actually don't release or come out with major updates until you're midway in the markup period. Following the markup period is where you have the distribution phase. This is where after the market tops out, we have this whole euphoric time where everyone is greedy. Prices become unsustainable. It's when you see Ethereum in this cycle maybe breaking $10,000, Solana breaking $500 or even $1,000. Bitcoin gets to its all-time high, and then altcoins are rallying every single day where people are pretty much doubling their money every morning they wake up. This here is unsustainable growth, but it is very possible just knowing how much money is circulating within the economy. Anytime I feel like people are like, yo, Brian, the crypto markets, there's not enough money. There's no way this is going to happen again. I'd say a lot of people underestimate the true power of human nature in greed, in FOMO, and also the money that really does sit out on the sideline. Unlike the stock market, crypto is global, and there's a lot more money than here just sitting in the US or more North American states, but you have markets in Asia, in Europe that are all able to buy in. Now, the last phase here is the markdown phase. This is a correction where after the market goes up, it pulls back down. And for anyone who's unable to sell near the top, this is where you incur those losses. Now, this phase is where everything gets reset, weaker hands exit, and the cycle then starts over again. The whole point I want to make with the 4 phases of the crypto market, it's not that we're going to follow this exact same thing to the T. Like I said, you're going to have moments where you have multiple markup phases. Distribution phase can last a bit longer. But the key here is if you're able to recognize where we might be in the cycle, you can prepare for it better so that you're able to capitalize on what happens next, whether it means you take profits or you enter a bigger bag. Now, look, even back in the 2017 bull run, we had a massive correction where Bitcoin nearly dropped 40% in June, but it ended up coming back stronger and it hit new all-time highs right after that. It's kind of hard to tell on this one, so let me use 2021 as an example. Bitcoin had a massive summer correction. So you see this big dip here, it dropped about 50%, but towards the end of the year, it had hit $69,000. The most important takeaway here is that crypto bull runs are not always linear. They don't always just go straight up like we see on this chart, but instead we do get pullbacks, we do get dips. So if you understand how cycles work and where the bull run is headed, you'll understand that these pullbacks are good, healthy opportunities for you to enter back in. Now that we've gone over the phases of the crypto market, the big question is, well, Brian, where are we sitting now? So look, I thought when XRP was pumping 20-30% a day, and it's now sitting at the number 4th largest crypto at $130 billion in market cap, we're at the altcoin season cycle there. What I've come to realize is that I believe I was wrong. I believe a lot of people are actually wrong, and that we're still just going through the warm-up before the true Super Bowl really kicks off. Look, even at the time of me filming this video, the last 7 days have not been pretty for crypto. I mean, a lot of these high caps have still gone down about 10, 15% or more. This is because we have had several liquidation events where people are using too much leverage, and anytime market makers see this, the cabal sees that people are getting greedy and there's not enough buying power for us to go to new all-time highs, then usually when they sell and market prices go down on these assets, it'll cause a whole domino effect because people get liquidated, they get stopped out, and it causes prices to go down more and more and more. But that's actually good. You don't want crypto to be built on just debt. You want crypto to be built on solid real money and more wallets coming in. So in terms of where we're at in this cycle, I actually think we're right by this dotted line. I think we had a bit of a rally here. I think we're right now just entering the markup phase, and that we still haven't gone through the true explosive growth of what a bull run does. To segue that into the path of altcoin season, because generally when Bitcoin goes up, we have Ethereum going up, large caps going up. We had a mini version of this. Okay, so it definitely did happen, but I don't think it was the full-blown altcoin season that most of us know. Look, if any of you guys were investing in 2021, you'll know that in a full-blown altcoin season cycle, things are going crazy all the time. Right now, all the pumps that we're having are still more isolated. They're rotating between different narratives and different niches within crypto. That's not a full-blown altcoin season, guys. That is still more PvP and just a rotation of money happening within the market. Now, here's what we're waiting for. If you're trying to find success in this market and you're waiting for a true altcoin season to take off, we want two things happening within this chart. We're either looking for option 4, where Bitcoin dominance goes down. Bitcoin dominance is pretty much how much money is held up in Bitcoin compared to other cryptocurrencies. When Bitcoin dominance goes up, but Bitcoin price goes up, altcoin prices go up. We're in an altcoin season. Option number 2 is Bitcoin dominance continuing to go down, so money is flowing still into other altcoins, but then Bitcoin price goes lateral, but then alt prices still go up. By keeping a close eye out on how Bitcoin dominance is doing, you can get a better idea on whether or not the altcoin season is right around the corner. The Bitcoin dominance is what my team looks at, and we've been able to use this indicator to time the market pretty well. So now that we've covered where we are in the current cycle, let's talk about how you can best position yourself to find success within these markets. Look, crypto can create life-changing wealth, but with anything where you can turn $100 into $1 million, the same thing could happen too. You could easily turn $1 million and lose that in the blink of an eye if you don't have the right strategies. So here are just a few things that I've learned over the years that have helped me make exponentially more and to help save money as the market continues to ripen. So number 1, most of you guys already know this, but I do not hold any Bitcoin. In a bull run, I believe holding Bitcoin will cost you millions of dollars. Bitcoin right now is already so high in market cap. For it to double in price, you would need a lot of liquidity, you would need a lot of money, and to just do a 2x in crypto, I believe you're better off just trading stocks. Now, where Bitcoin does become useful is when the market starts topping off, you want to put it more into a controlled asset. I think long-term Bitcoin can still eventually hit over $1 million in our lifetime. I think it might take a little bit, but if you truly want to capitalize on this bull run and where you can maximize your crypto gains, it happens within different altcoins. Now, I'm not just talking about the altcoins that are sitting on crypto.com, Coinbase, Kraken, some of these other tier 1 exchanges, but I'm talking about these altcoins where you have to go on chain. So when I say go on chain, this means you're actually downloading a wallet, you're transferring your money from your exchange to your wallet, and you use something called a decentralized exchange to swap into some of these other plays. This is because I believe the plays that are listed on Coinbase, yes, in this bull run, they're all going to go up, but unless you're using leverage or you have a 7 to 8 figure portfolio, you're not going to see those crazy gains that most of you guys might have the expectation of making. Now, although it's important that you learn to go on chain, you know how to use a decentralized exchange, I wouldn't recommend that you go too far into the trenches. Look, y'all remember that scene in Lion King where the monkey's pretty much holding up baby lion and is like, you don't want to go to that part that's covered in the shadows. If you go too far on chain and you go into the trenches, which is what we call, you will lose your money because it's a lot of PvP arena of snipers, volume bots, mev bots, inside traders. It's where I've seen more people actually lose money, where instead they were left curving it and staying on chain using a DEX, or even staying just within a tier 1 exchange trading those cryptos there. So unless you have experience in the market, you have at least 4 to 6 hours that you could invest every single day in learning more about the market. I'd say don't go too far in the trenches. come pull yourself back out a little bit and you can still make life-changing wealth on chain just using decentralized exchanges like Uniswap or Aerodrome or KyberSwap, whatever your cup of tea is. Now, what's another way you can best position yourself for success in the market? I believe this is leverage trading futures. Now, if you're new to this and you don't have proper risk management, I would not recommend this at all. But if you're someone who's already knows how to trade, you'd say you have good emotional bandwidth to be able to weather the storm. I have made more money easily just because of how liquid futures are. And that's actually where I turned the $3,000 portfolio that I shared day by day in my group on Kaizen, and it went up to $600,000, all because leverage gave me the tools to emphasize even greater returns. Now, with greater returns comes greater risk. If you aren't able to stomach volatility, if you aren't able to stomach the idea that you could lose it all just as fast, this is not something I'd recommend any of you guys to touch. So just by following those tips, that is going to be your best bet on positioning yourself for success in the market. If you've come into crypto and you're like, oh, maybe I'll just long Solana and Ethereum here and maybe some Bitcoin, you're not gonna see those outsized gains unless you have already a 7 to 8 figure portfolio. But like I said, if you're gonna do that, it's better you diversify into equities markets like stocks. Now, here's the best market edge for 90% of you watching. This is for the ones who don't have 8 hours a day researching. It's for the ones who might be more new to the crypto cycle and you're still just trying to make sense of what I'm talking about in this video. And that is to just find a narrative that is cooking. All right. So we talk about what's cooking a lot on this channel, and you want to find narratives that are generally more quiet. As an example, we're hearing whispers right now of quantum computing. Well, AI right now is what everyone is looking at. Quantum computing, if that's next, and you find the next project that is preparing its defense in cybersecurity or something that's building towards the progression of that, you're getting in early before the mass wave comes in. This is how I've been able to find projects that have done 5, 10, 15x or more. And this is how I think you guys can also find a ton of success too. Now, it's not always easy doing that. Intuition on finding new narratives before they take off is something that develops over time. If you're newer to the market, it's going to be hard to build that edge. So the next thing that you could do then is to just find projects within a chain that is already doing well. I'll go over what those are later on in this video when I cover some of those top narratives. But generally, when you're investing into things that are not as exciting, this here is the indicator that you're early, and when you hit, you're going to be able to hit hard. Granted, it comes with risk because if the narrative never does form or you're just off the mark by one project, you could see those gains easily slip away. Now, the third tip here is you could just left curve all of this. All right, so you have people who are more experienced, right? They've been in crypto for a long period of time. You also have people who are mid-curving this. This is a majority of you guys actually watching this video. You understand crypto, you understand what I'm saying. It turns out if you aren't able to right curve the market, because this takes a lot of expertise, a lot of research, and there's very few people that I know who sit within the 0.1 percentile, you could just tune yourself back, almost left curve everything that we're saying. And our research team put this together. This is pretty good, but I'll just watch Brian Jung. I'll just watch Brian Jung. Look, we don't hit all the time. I actually get a few projects wrong, and there are times where I feel incredibly bullish about something and it doesn't go up. I never want you guys to think that I'm this oracle or that I know everything or that every crypto I buy only goes up, because it's not the case. But generally, when we do hit, we hit hard. And those winners easily make up for the losses that we've incurred through some of the other projects that we've bought. Now, this leads us well into the next section of actually going over those narratives to help you guys to either left curve this, right curve this, wherever you want to sit. But before I do, I want to make this full disclaimer here. I personally buy into every crypto knowing that I could lose 100% of my money there. If you aren't comfortable with the idea that you could lose all your money in this space, I do not recommend that you buy into any of this and that you just click out of this video here. The whole point I want to make is just do not invest more than you can afford to lose. In a bull run, life-changing wealth will be made, but there still will be a lot of you guys who will get overwhelmed by greed. No matter how many times I say it, no matter how many exit strategies or all the reminders I give you all, there will be a good bit of people that I think will still get succumbed to the natural human emotion of FOMO, greed, where you end up putting in more money towards the top of the market and you end up losing it. Obviously, there are things that are still outside of my control, outside of your control, where project devs will rug a project. Projects get hacked by hackers who are malicious across the world. I've seen this happen over the years, so this is where you just have to know if you're putting anything into crypto, it is extremely risky. It can go down in any moment and you can lose all your money just as fast as you make it to. At the current time of me filming this video, there has not ever been a single project project, by the way, that has given us a KOL round, a special marketing deal for having us mention a project here on YouTube. Everything I buy is from my own research with my team, and I also have a full disclaimer that you guys can check out down below in the description. Now, we do have our own private fund where we buy projects early, but none of those projects are tied to my name, and the research team does not disclose to me all the projects that are listed there. You can also take a look at all my holdings. I get airdropped all the time. Just if you're in crypto, you know you get airdropped a million times. There's a lot of projects on there that I personally don't buy with my money, but just for a whole disclaimer, I have that list that you guys can also check out. So with that said, let's go over what I think is the most underrated best crypto narrative that is going to lead the entire market this bull run by storm. So let's start with this. Meme coins and AI have become the defining narrative so far this cycle. In early 2024, meme coins actually outperformed every other category in crypto up until beginning of November year to date. Historically though, we had different narratives like DeFi, which is just decentralized finance, where instead of you putting your money into a savings account and earning 4% yield, you could put your money into a crypto project where it earns you 10, 15, or even 20% yield for that same amount. Decentralized finance was crazy. It was the biggest use case of crypto, and that's actually what drove a lot of the biggest gainers back in the 2021 cycle. Now, we think DeFi is going to make its approach again. We've already talked about several solid DeFi projects multiple times actually while this bull run has been cooking, but we think AI agent is going to be an even bigger narrative than DeFi or anything else that we've seen. Here's the thing with AI. In the first part of the year, we actually saw this come around, but a lot of it was just hype. There was no real tech in the space. People were just throwing AI next to their name, and it was a lot of just hype. Now, recently, OpenAI came with some crazy breakthroughs where particularly there's something called the ARC benchmark, which demonstrates how far AI has come in being able to solve complex real-world problems. Well, this ARC benchmark, which is used to see how smart AI basically is, showed us that with OpenAI's latest model, their O3, scored 75.7%, and it reached an unprecedented 87.5%. So in context, the human benchmark is 85%. Now, this currently means that OpenAI has created an AI that can outperform humans on this test. This here is massive. I mean, I'm already using ChatGPT, and if you guys are too, you'll know just how potent, how strong it is. But in the most recent update, we're actually seeing how far AI has come. And I think over the next 3 months, AI is just going to continue to blow up as we see more progression happening within this space. So we've seen patterns like this before where narratives evolve within a cycle, but the potential I want to mention here is insane. If you combine a bull run with a new innovative category where people are actually being able to use this for real utility, such as using AI to help you trade and make more money, using AI to help you do your research, or using AI to get more alpha in the market, it changes the game. As I mentioned earlier, last cycle, DeFi farming was a shiny new thing that attracted attention. This cycle, AI is taking the spotlight. So that said, what AI projects am I looking at right now? Well, to find those undiscovered gems, I'll do a 10 to 20x. You have to find projects that can solve a problem. Now, what could that problem be? Well, there's a lot of problems you get when it comes to AI. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I believe we're gonna go through 3 phases of AI. We've had one of them already where you just have your typical projects that toss AI on it. This is pretty much just like ChatGPT that is white labeled and created a new website on it, and they're like, boom, crypto AI project, boom. Even that hype still let some projects rally pretty hard, but then we had wave 2, which is just recently what we went through, where you had AI agents, you had things like Luna on the Virtuals network, or you had AI XBT, which has been constantly tweeting good alpha. But then the third phase of what we're currently going through right now is seeing AI agents becoming more sentient, where they have personality, they're able to control the internet more, where they're actually able to provide tools and help humans in our day-to-day processes. Going back into the problem stuff with AI, there's a lot, okay? Well, right now, a lot of decentralized AI agents, even going into phase 3, is that they're heavily centralized. They're still using centralized closed source models like GPT-4 or Claude. There's really no way to verify if an AI agent is actually a real AI agent making its own decisions, or if it's still a human pulling the puppet strings behind it. You also have to be on the lookout for all these projects that are now going to saturate crypto with predatory project developers who know how to make something and tokenize it and pretty much slap AI on there, claiming that, oh, this is the next new AI agent. It's going to take over the world, yet it's going to just be a pump and dump. So with that said, here's how you can position yourself. You can either buy in specific individual AI agents, or you could buy into the infrastructure of AI. It's pretty much like if you wanted to buy one stock sitting on the stock market, or you buy the index of a mutual fund. The different categories of AI agents are here. We have 3D models, AI agents that are able to dance, live stream, engage, and interact with the community. We have voice module AI agents. So something like Zero, guys, this is making music, and the music, it'd be bumping low key. You have AI agents with engaging personalities. I mean, there's one AI agent that I've seen on Twitter where literally it's just roasting people. Its only sole job and reason why it was created was so that it roasts every single person on the timeline. You also have your streaming agents. So these are agents that are streaming on Twitch and on YouTube or TikTok, and they're actually able to create income for themselves. Now, here's where I think AI agents is going to have a more solidified use case. This is autonomous trading agents. So these are agents that can do a better job at executing profitable trades instead of me going on a decentralized exchange and swapping and bridging into a new network. You can have agents that do this for you, track your P&L, and help you make money. I foresee a near future, guys. It could happen in the next few weeks, next few months, but during this bull run, I expect us to get to a point where a majority of the winning wallets that you see on Dex Screener or the big P&Ls is actually AI that is out trading humans. So instead of it being PvP, player versus player, I think we're eventually going to see PvAI. Player versus AI. Outside of that, you're going to have DeFi focused agents. These can help you to optimize yield strategies, help you with lending, liquidity, and then you have abstraction agents. This is where an agent can help make on-chain interactions. It can help do all the dirty work where you don't have to bridge, swap all these things, and you don't have to worry about liquidity. It'll take care of all this for you. All right, so what do I think is the best AI agent to be on the lookout for? Right now, I'm most bullish on Virtual's protocol. It is sitting at $3 billion in market cap. But what I like about Virtuals is that they have a ton of great AI agents already on there. Look, if any of you guys are using Twitter and you're on there, you might have seen already a few of these AI agents. Something like even AI XBT, where it's been constantly tweeting, it's currently sitting at $324 million in market cap. And for you to have access to any of these AI agents, you have to buy Virtuals, which allows the price of Virtuals to go up because you're within their ecosystem and you're pretty much betting on an index of over 11,000 agents that have actually been launched and more than 340,000 total holders that are on this chain. Now, yes, I call this a chain because it really feels like a layer 1 chain at this point. Another reason why I'm so bullish on Virtuals right now is because I compare them to something like Pump.Fund. Pump.Fund has a total revenue generated of over $337 million year to date. Virtuals is also generating a ton of revenue just from the use of all their different AI agents. And if there's one thing I've learned in crypto, you want to invest into the companies that are generating profit. This allows the team to continue to reinvest in scale, build more developers, put it back into their treasury, buy up their shares. And if there's one project that I think will be the best index for AI, it's still Virtuals. This has been built off the base network. They have shown resilience. I've seen the founder do multiple interviews successfully and just talk about his long-term vision of where all this is headed. And I still say this is more of a safer play because you're sitting at a $3 billion market cap. But anytime I thought this was too high to buy back in, I mean, it's continued to show otherwise. So I believe Virtual's protocol could easily break $10 during the peak. It could probably even hit $15, $20 or more as the market conditions continue to ripen. Now, Virtuals sound familiar. By the way, we talked about Virtuals. Like, you see this little blip right here? I think we bought in here. We actually sold here. And, you know, it didn't do much after that. We were actually still in the profit up until October, where boom, they made the transition into AI agents and they started crushing it. And since then, if I had held my bag, which I had bought in and told all you guys on YouTube about in the earlier part of this year, we would be up multiple 7 figures. But hey, this is crypto. With all the money that you can make, you're going to see probably more opportunities slip by your fingers, and you got to learn to be okay with it. One project I like to compare Virtuals to right now is BitTensor, also Tau. This here was another AI project. Tau also had a massive rally earlier this year where it went from $268 all the way to $716. Pretty much, it felt like within an instant. Now, BitTensor's all-time high in its market cap was actually over $5 billion. With Virtuals still sitting at around $3 billion in market cap, I believe there's a huge mismatch here, and that as AI continues to grow, which we're already seeing happen, I think Virtuals is going to make its way to being a top 20 crypto, possibly even a top 10. Now, if you're a bit more risk on, you don't want to buy something that's, $3 billion market cap, because I know it's gone up a lot. You could take a look at the index of some of their other AIs. Now, we talked about Game, guys, when it was like $10 million market cap, $10 or $15 million. If some of you guys remember that video, because I think I actually talked about Game even more than once, it has now done an easy 23x since the time when we first saw it. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what Game is, first, I think it still has much more room to grow. Think about it like this. Game is a low-code plug-and-play framework that allows AI agent developers to create and manage AI agents easily. So if you ever used WordPress or used Shopify to build your own e-commerce website, it's very plug-and-play. It's like a template, it's drag and drop. Game is pretty much like that. It allows developers to free up their time and to focus more on innovation. My prediction here is that within a year, I think agent commerce could surpass human commerce. Now, just imagine a world where virtual agents or autonomous projects can act, buy, and sell on their own. So I think Game still has massive potential, folks. I mean, I don't actually have any more exposure into this project. I wish I kept holding, but even with that said, I think this still has much more room to grow. Another project here that you'll see, Luna, $124 million in market cap. Luna can right now do something incredible. She can actually make music. Luna has been able to generate income for herself by streaming on places like TikTok and X before AI agents ever even start to take off. This was actually the OG AI agent that really put Virtuals on the map. With her being able to make music and me hearing how good music is from some of these other AI agent tools, I would not be surprised if eventually we see her on the big screen and at some point being at EDM concerts or being on those big projector screens with other popular artists. At that point, we'll know that this AI agent stuff isn't just confined within the world of crypto, but it can expand into broader markets much easily. By the time that happens, I believe Luna is going to pick back up even more from here. So I do think a majority of these different AI agents are still massively undervalued. With that said, I'm still most bullish on two projects here. AI XBT, $322 million in market cap. I do have AI XBT. I have enough AI XBT for me to use its terminal, and it's still really good. The alpha that it's been posting on X has been fantastic, and it's actually been consolidating within a pretty healthy range. If I pull this out to the 1 hour charts, it's been accumulating up higher. Growth has been good. Alpha has been good. There's not much else to say about this. I think AI XBT could easily hit $1 billion market cap, and I really love productivity AI agents, things that provide me more alpha to help me make more money because it's easier for us to see the utility there. Now, out of all of that, folks, I know a lot of these have already pumped multiple couple $100 million in market cap. Well, out of all the ones on this list, and there's still a lot of great ones, I think Vader AI is still one of the most undervalued ones. Sitting at currently under 100 mil market cap, I believe within the next few weeks, it could break 100 million market cap easily. The TLDR for what Vader is, just think about the BlackRock of AI agents economies. Vader is building an investment DAO empire. They're going to be a huge role in growing the brand. And I believe there's going to be a future where active DAOs or decentralized autonomous organizations within crypto will be actively managed by a manager. Now, these managers can either be agents or humans. Humans, though, you always have conflict of interest. I mean, humans got to sleep, as you guys know. We got to sleep, we got to eat, we deal with burnout. But AI agents, if they are dialed in on one purpose, they could do a better job than what humans can do. And after going through the whole Vader flywheel and seeing how much thought they'd actually put into their ecosystem, the more I researched about Vader, the more I realized this is still significantly undervalued just because people don't really understand what it is. I mean, it's got a green guy as a profile pic, and then on their X account, you got a completely different profile pic of like Darth Vader. So I believe the opportunities that exist within the space is actually coming from the fact that most people don't do enough research to see just how all of this is connecting. It's only till where it's too late where you then see market caps of 300 mil, 200 mil. If Vader does anything close to even what Game or AI XBT has done, that's a 3 to 4x that could happen. Now look, there's still a lot of different AI plays, but I'll just say this. Be careful because there's a lot of projects that are building. It's going to get oversaturated, as I've already seen, but there are still good alternatives, I think, to Virtuals that could be a potential contender. Now, I put a little bit of money into Spec about a month ago. This has actually gone down. Dasha, Vaifu, this is $54 million market cap. I know some members in Kaizen hit big on this one. Clinker, it had a big run, but it's been pulling back significantly since then. I'll be honest, I haven't even seen half of these different AIs. It looks like more and more are getting listed. Now there is one, Griffin. We've talked about this before on the channel. This could be an alternative play. If AI agents really pick up, there's a chance that this could also be another infrastructure play. But it really just depends on the quality of AI agents that gets launched on this platform. At the moment, I'm still overly bullish on virtuals and some of the different AI agents on there just because of the success that we've already seen with them. Outside of AI agents, there are several different plays that you could still diversify into, because in crypto, I think it's always good, no matter what, no matter how bullish you are on something, it's always good to have your eggs in different baskets. Just don't stretch yourself out too thin. All right, so one more conservative play that I want to share with you guys here. It's $9 billion in market cap. Look, I don't expect this to, give you a 50x by the end of this bull run, but I expect this to still be a top 10 cryptocurrency. Right now, it's number 24. It's sitting at $9 billion in market cap. But Hyperliquid is one of the few projects where they have pretty much done everything right. A lot of people see Hyperliquid just as another decentralized exchange, but it's actually more than that. If you pull up Hyperliquid, this looks like your ordinary exchange. But after testing it out, using it, it turns out their exchange is really good. And this actually compares pretty well as a competitor to some of these other centralized exchanges. Now, Hyperliquid, what's cool about them is they did zero fundraising. Everything that they have made has come in fees, and then they gave it 100% back to the community in a massive airdrop. Now, aside from them being a decentralized exchange where you can leverage trade using Hyper, they're also a layer one. A lot of people overlook this fact that they are a layer one that's building, and they're going to have more infrastructure and applications built on their chain. Now, look, this is a tough shot, and I didn't get any airdrops from Hyperliquid. I am just unbiasedly over bullish on this. I think they have a chance of being a top 10 market cap project. I think Hype can reach over $100 towards the peak of this bull run or even higher. And I think it could compete against some of these other layer one projects like Solana or even Sui. And the potential really here is limitless. Now, there's been FUD recently that, North Korean hackers, it's always the North Koreans, by the way. As a Korean, these North Koreans got to chill. If you think this is already too high for you, you're not looking for a more conservative play, you can then check out some other betas that exist. And this is exactly how we find some of the gems before they start blowing up on crypto Twitter. All right, so one of these projects is going to be Farm. I think Farm right now, you're getting in at a pretty good point. At the time of me filming this video, I have no exposure into it. That'll probably change. I've been meaning to buy up more of this. And this is currently sitting at $33 million in market cap. I believe this is still rather undervalued. They only have 5,000 followers here on X. And what Farm is, this is actually an AI-driven gaming project. To best explain it, just take a look at their website. It gives me MapleStory vibes. This here is a website where you can generate unique AI creatures by merging images, and then you can enjoy a new gameplay experience that leverages AI technology. Now, since their launch, they've achieved a market cap of $30 million within a few hours. And shortly after that, it was $50 million, and they pulled back a little bit since. The reason why I'm adding this here is because this is part of the whole Hype narrative, the Hype ecosystem. It fits within this whole AI narrative, but it is going to be higher risk. I would not recommend you hold this for a long period of time. I don't think it's going to survive going to the bear market, but who knows? This is just another one of those higher risk projects that I know some of you guys might be more interested in. Here's another project. It's not as risky. It's a bit higher market cap. This is Hyper Intern. So the ticker for this is called PER. PER has been going down a little bit too. They had their peak going towards about 7 cents, and that means it was at a market cap of over $400 million. So PER is just a meme coin, but where I'm betting on right now is that for any new chain, any new narrative, there's usually one or two top meme coins that end up leading the rally. There weren't that many Hype meme coins, and the ones that we saw, it didn't really interest me that much. But what we like about Hype is that you had the OG account, GCR. He's basically regarded as the legend of crypto. And by taking a look at on-chain data, he either bought it or he got airdropped some. But GCR also has exposure into this meme coin. PER also has the highest volume. It's the blue chip meme coin of what we consider Hype. And if we were to compare this to anything, I compare it to Ski Mask Dog of Base or even Dog with Hat or Bonk of Soul. Like I said, market cap, $200 million right now. I think it could easily break 500 mil or even go towards $1 billion in market cap as the market conditions progress. It even rallied in a single week very fast, close to $400 million. So as Hyperliquid continues to grow and expand, you know that the potential is going to be there. I think people are going to follow this natural narrative of what I'm talking about here, where they look at Hyperliquid, they realize it's a layer one, then they want to look at meme coins, they want to look at AI agents, and I think this is a clear exposure play that you can at least take a look at. Now, if you want some more safer, conservative plays, I've talked about SUI a little bit already. SUI right now is sitting at number 17. They are also high in market cap, $13 billion. Now, by the way, SUI is available to buy on something like crypto.com, which we'll talk about more towards the end of this video. The whole point I want to mention there is that SUI is already listed on a ton of top tier 1 exchanges. I do think it's a very strong possibility they could eventually flip Solana in trading volume as the bull run progresses. So right now they're sitting number 17, Solana sitting number 6. When SUI does begin its rally, I think it's going to rally hard. And even in the last few weeks, while we've been talking about it, if you had seen it pre $3, you'd still be up a good chunk on your investment. Now, SUI also had a recent announcement with Phantom Wallet, so it's going to be a lot easier to bridge into SUI. But I think this here is just going to be a safer play. This is a team full of ex-Apple, ex-Google, ex-Meta, and that's because SUI was built off of Facebook's previous cryptocurrency. A lot of people completely forgot about this, but Facebook themselves was going to come out with a cryptocurrency called Libra. Now, this didn't work out. Most of you guys should know, but Mark Zuckerberg went through a ton of court hearings because of Facebook privacy invasion. And I don't think he wanted to overexpose himself within the crypto space, especially because it was so unregulated back in the 2021 bull run. On top of that, Mark was also spending a ton of money on things like metaverse technology, which also lost him billions of dollars. So for those who know, you know, SUI was actually built off of the same technology that Facebook was using to build this blue chip crypto project. Now, just like what I mentioned with Hyper, you can find other alternative beta plays within SUI. So if SUI continues to rally, instead of just getting maybe a 2 to 3x on your money, which is fantastic in crypto, I think you could do that more with some of these other lower cap projects. So SUI is going to have some meme coin that pops off. If you're able to identify what that meme coin is early on and they continue to do well, that gives you an opportunity to make more money within the space. This means you're going on chain. This means you're swapping and you're using the SUI network than something else. And you're also diving yourself more into the whole SUI ecosystem. All right, so SUI Lend is another project here. It's $100 million in market cap. It's actually been going down, but if SUI continues to start its rip, everyone's gonna look towards what Aerodrome was of base. And if this is a solid DeFi suite where you can lend, stake, and do more, I mean, this I think is a clear, viable play. Now, I don't think there are any true strong meme coins within SUI just yet, but I know there are some that are waiting to get discovered. If I do find any gems, I will let you guys know in the next video. But to move on, guys, I think there's one underrated project that I talked about so much in our last video, Pengu. Now, what's really cool about Pengu, ever since they came out with their airdrop, okay, they had a massive dip here. It was going down. This was also during the time where Bitcoin was going down, but Pengu actually held pretty steady. Right now, it's going up back to 4 cents at the time of me filming this video. And I'm still bullish on this because of the abstract chain, because of what the leader of Pudgy Penguins, Luca Netz, has been able to do and show and prove within the bear market. And not only that, the Pudgy Penguins team did something that no one has ever done for us. They actually airdropped every single member within our group, Kaizen, a free, currently it's about $900 to $1,000 airdrop, literally just for being a member. I got connected with the team. They didn't pay me directly any money for any shout out, nothing like this. I just knew that they were coming out with a token and they pretty much just said, give us your group's wallet address. We're going to do a big airdrop. We'd love to get you involved. And boom, they blessed all our family members within Kaizen with this massive airdrop right before Christmas. And this was actually one of the biggest airdrops that we've seen happen within the space. I don't remember the exact number. It was either 5 million, 7 million or more in airdrops that they had done for the entire community. And right now they're sitting at $2.3 billion in market cap. If we're to compare this to a project that really fumbled the bag in 2021, ApeCoin had actually rallied from $600,000 market cap to $1.3 billion. So it did a clear 2x before it came back down. I think Pudgy Penguins, they still have a good roadmap, but most importantly, I'm bullish on the ecosystem of what they're driving into. So let me share with you guys just some cool lore here. The parent company of Pudgy Penguins is Igloo.Inc. This here is one of the more fascinating projects that I've seen that have continued to build. Igloo.Inc. is building into what a lot of people don't know is Abstract Chain. So as I go in here, I mean, they got their cool music on. Abstract Chain is going to be another layer too. There's a lot of chains coming up right now. We covered this in our video about 3 to 4 videos ago. We got Kraken's Ink Chain coming coming out. I mean, we had Ape Chain, we had Unit Chain, so many things. But Abstract Chain, guys, as I've been doing more research and seeing the projects that are getting built on there, they have great support, they have great backing. And so far, it looks like the teams are building truly something that is spectacular. So not only that, Pangu recently surpassed WIF in market cap. It's holding its price. A lot of people who claim their airdrop have already sold it, so I think a lot of those weak hands have already left. But personally for me, I'm holding a big bag in Pangu. I bought 4 pudgy penguins just because of how bullish I have been on this whole NFT. And as I mentioned in my last video, if you capitalized on that, you would have been able to do an easy 2x on your money. Now, since then, the NFTs have gone down a little bit, but the value of it got made up in these airdrops, and the pudgy penguin tokens, the Pangu stuff, it's been holding, and I think it's going to continue to ride up. I would not be surprised if we do a minimum 3x here. This means we see eventually a 10-cent Pudgy Penguins token, especially nearing the time when Abstract comes out, which is going to be, I think, mid to late January. On top of that, we still have a lot of projects dropping. OpenSea is dropping a potential airdrop, okay? We got rumors on that. There was a huge Kaido AI NFT that got dropped. Kaido is a tool that a lot of experienced people use within the crypto space. This NFT was in such high demand that it's right now holding a floor price of 4.45 ETH. At the time of filming this video, this is about a $13,350 airdrop that just came about. Now, I know these are a lot of projects so far. If you guys are enjoying the value here, drop a like on this video. I mean, this is the stuff that my team and I have researched, and I think it's going to change some lives out here. Next, let's talk about DeFi. DeFi was huge in the past. DeFi is going to be huge again here in this upcoming cycle. A16Z, Anderson and Horowitz came out with a State of Crypto report where they mentioned the importance of DeFi and particularly how stablecoins are going to have a massive impact on what blockchain technology does and at the forefront of where regulation is now coming into play. If there's one play that we know is definitely coming up, this is Trump coming into office. His inauguration is on Monday, January 20th. If you guys were really in the trenches when crypto wasn't as exciting, like 4 months ago, Trump had actually announced that he had come out with his own crypto project called World Liberty Fi. World Liberty Fi didn't have a great launch. Actually, it went down in price. People were kind of like, why? Why would, this happen? But they've actually been cooking behind the scene. And I believe when his inauguration happens, we're going to see a pump on this side and we're going to see any projects related to this. Now, I don't have that much interest in this project here, but I'm looking at some of the other betas where we could easily see money flow. This is definitely going to be a higher conviction play of mine, and that's going to be Ethena. Ethena is currently sitting at $3 billion in market cap. It's number 46 out of all the different cryptos. It's been accumulating, all right? It's been going up a little bit. It had a pretty solid rally going to $1.21. But here's why I'm more particularly bullish about this. So the Ethena Foundation has announced a partnership with Wintermute here. Right now, Ethena is actually the fastest growing DeFi product in history. If you take a look at your screen, you'll see that their stablecoin has scaled to $3 billion in a matter of months. And we've never seen a stablecoin grow as fast as USDE since inception. Now, Ethena also makes the traditionally complex cash and carry trade accessible to everyday users. I'm not going to go into the weeds. This is more for our technical viewers here. But the way Ethena works is that they use something called the Delta Neural Strategy. The TLDR is that this removes the need for institutional access and sophisticated markets, and it lowers the barriers for participation, where previously this popular trade was only accessible to hedge funds and big institutional investors. Anytime I get projects that help democratize the playing field and it allows for retail investors like you and I to be able to make more money, I think it's a big win. Now, so far, they have world-class integrations with BlackRock, Bybit, Aave, SkyMaker. They have a great team driving innovation, and they are truly democratizing this whole DeFi landscape of what we've known. So their new stablecoin is USDTB, and it's launched a partnership with Securitize and BlackRock. Look, anytime a project is partnering up with one of the biggest hedge funds in the world, I think right there, that is a play. For layman terms, just think about this being BlackRock's stablecoin. So far, USDS has become the number 3 largest stablecoin. You'll see and notice them popping up as time goes on. Not only that, but Ethena also offers better APY on a stablecoin where you can earn up to 12% in Ethena. Now, look, I know earning yield on stablecoins is a little sketchy ever since we had Do Kwon and Terra Luna coming out, but Ethena actually has more sustainable yield. As we've done more research on it, even in a bearish market, we've realized the strategy that they've implemented has more stability. It's more safer than any other stable coin that we've analyzed within the market. The one thing we don't like about Ethena though, I gotta say, is that they are so heavily VC backed. Look, it's not always great if a project is VC backed because they get unlocks and that's gonna put a lot of sell pressure on these projects. The good news though out of all that is that we're not gonna get any VC unlocks until April. Right now, all the unlocks are within their airdrop and ecosystem development. Now, this is still rather high in market cap. It's $3 billion, but this is where my team has actually found even another project and something I've been even more bullish on lately, and this is called Usual Money. So Ethena has actually announced a partnership. This slid right under the radar with Usual Money, and they're migrating one of their stable coins to USDO. Look, this video is going to be 3 hours long if I get into the weeds of the true power and nature of what stable coins are, but just know this, stable coins are good. It's going to be its own narrative. It's a safer play, and this right now seems early. Usual Money is currently sitting at $654 billion in market cap. I was looking to make an entry here at about $1. I still haven't made the entry yet. I was hoping we get another market pullback. But what I found really interesting is that they just announced a partnership. This was 2 days ago from the time of filming this video, a partnership led by Binance Labs, Kraken Ventures, and it turns out even Coinbase has invested into them. Their slogan is "Together, we're going to be even bigger than BlackRock," and this is another RWA or real world asset and DeFi play. The other use case for this is that World Liberty Fi could also buy Usual because they are partnered with Ethena, and Ethena is now partnered with Usual. So if Trump's World Liberty Fi needs a stable coin, we think that there is a possible play that's cooking up here. Now, this protocol has generated over $200 million in revenue. Every dollar the system creates, though, is shared with 90% of the value returned to its users. So what this product is, it's an RWA-backed stablecoin, and it's backed by T-bills from Ondo and BlackRock. After analyzing their tokenomics, it looks like only 10% goes to their team and their inside investors, but it looks like a majority of the Usual holders will actually control the treasury and protocol decisions. So what would I compare this project to? I think it would be similar to something like Ondo. Ondo, by the way, has such a high float. It's one of the reasons why, yeah, I've talked about it on this channel, but it was never good enough for me to buy. A high float is this. Their market cap is $2.3 billion, but their fully diluted market cap is actually $16 billion. Usual looks a lot better in tokenomics, and if they were to reach anything where Ondo is at, and I think it could easily surpass Ondo, there's a possibility of making a 3.5x. Now, if you didn't know, Tether, USDT, is actually the king of revenue in crypto. It's actually not, the popular crypto projects you might think is printing money. It's a stable coin. There is mass appeal within this market for projects to build and capitalize on. I think it would be crazy to not have any exposure within the stablecoin market during this bull run. All right, so we talked about a lot of different narratives, but if there is one narrative that I need to mention that I am most bullish on, that I still think we have the best market edge on, it's going to be base chain, more specifically, finding a dog meme coin. Look, guys, the inflows happening into the base chain has been insane. There has been more activity on base than ever before with good leading projects like Virtuals and all those AI agents building on it. I think base is going to continue to dominate this space, knowing Coinbase's mission in excelling and dominating the entire crypto space as one of the bigger tier 1 exchanges. With that said, every chain usually has their main meme coin. Meme coins, I think, are the most democratized forms of investing into crypto. We've also seen some of the largest meme coins that are actually sitting higher than some of these utility projects. Dogecoin, which is a meme coin and a dog project, is sitting at $48 billion in market cap. Scrolling down, you still have Shiba Inu. It's sitting at number 14 or $13 billion in market cap. If I go down a little bit further here, eventually we'll see Dog with Hat, number 63, sitting at close to $2 billion in market cap. Look, dog meme coins have historically driven rallies in the crypto market, and towards the latter half of the crypto bull run, we always see meme coins having a massive run. I think right now you can still prepare and load up early. You have the advantage of two things. If base chain continues to develop, and I think we're going to still see more inflows coming in, people are going to look towards the next base meme coin. Currently, the biggest base meme coin is already sitting at $1.4 billion. But the one problem with Brett is that there's just so much VC money. There's so much people who loaded up on the primary markets, and this is not a true community-owned meme coin. So something that checks every single box, that's a dog meme coin that's on the base network, and that also has a shot of flipping Brett because it's community owned fully, is Ski Mask Dog. Now, if we've seen anything from crypto, XRP being number 4 in one of the largest cryptos to exist, what I've learned matters the most is that community is everything. Ski Mask Dog has one of the craziest communities within the space. I mean, even in the last year, this rally that we saw from going from under 3 cents to now over 22 cents has been massive. Since then, it's been going down with the market coming down too, but it's currently holding over $200 million in market cap. I think from here, there's no reason that Ski Mask Dog doesn't flip, whiff, or even compete against Shiba Inu and being the dog of this cycle. It might even be crazy for me to say, but Ski Mask Dog does even have one-day potential. If Base does its thing and community truly goes behind this, maybe even getting close to the size of Doge. Look, I know I'm sounding a little too overly bullish, but here's the thing in crypto. You never want to underestimate community. You never want to underestimate meme coins. You never know if, for some reason, Elon is like, hey, I'm gonna just throw a ski mask on his dogs and take a picture with it, and then boom, the candles go up. But when I've seen XRP now sitting at $130 billion in market cap, all because they had one of the greatest communities within the crypto space, then I have reason to believe that anything is possible, especially when we know that the global crypto market cap is gonna continue to expand to numbers that we still have not yet seen. Now, here are the big catalyst events coming up with Ski Mask Dog. So number 1, Trump actually met up with Brian Armstrong as well several months ago. This here is showing that there's going to be some kind of partnership between Coinbase and what the government is doing in expanding the crypto space. Coinbase still owns Base. This is leading one of Base's top meme coins that is fully democratized. Not only that, but Ski has not had any true tier 1 listings yet. Coinbase has listed Base related projects like MOG and DGen, and Ski actually checks every single box for a potential Coinbase listing. And we actually found that Coinbase owns in a wallet already over $1 million worth of Ski from all the transaction fees of people swapping it on their wallet. Now, I even asked AIXBT, one of the AI agents, what they thought about Ski. And here's what it said. Ski has established itself as its dominant meme on Base with a $227 million market cap. It's already up over 900% despite being down 36% from its previous all-time highs. With that said, it has been the number 1 trending token on Coinbase wallet. It is strongly positioned for a potential centralized exchange listing, and the volume is looking healthy and has serious momentum on Base. If I were to have one high conviction play, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I think it's going to be Ski. There's no reason we don't see Ski break $1 as the month accumulates. And if we compare this to the market cap of WIF, this is about an 860% return from here. Now, if I were to compare it to WIF's all-time high, that's actually a 20x, where Ski would be worth $4.58. Now, with that being said, I've already been an investor and bought with my own money within Ski. I've already sold some Ski too. If you are uncomfortable with the fact that I have bought up on this, and I will sell because I'm not going to hold these projects to zero, do not buy. Don't buy anything that I talk about in this video here. Do your own research. Find whatever you're most bullish on. Do not just copy me blindly into the things that I own or that I'm feeling bullish about, because like I said, I could always get things wrong. My goal here is to just give you all the tools so that you guys can educate yourself. Wow, so I think this is actually one of the more longer videos I've ever made on this channel here, but I wanted to do a full deep dive so that you guys have the best possible plays. I just want to remind you all though that none of this here matters if you guys are not able to sell on time. Look, I can help you find some of the best plays and even get good entries, but if you're undisciplined with your exit strategy, then you're not going to make it out alive. So here's what I recommend. Right now is actually still the moment where you don't need to get overly cautious. You don't need to be so skitty, with your positions. I see a lot of people who just make a quick 1.5x or 2x and then boom, they miss out on 1,000% gains. I think the time for that is going to be when we get out of February, March, going into April, because I do think that long-term best case scenario, the market will continue to be in a bull run after 2026, but that is the overall best case scenario. But I'd say you want to become rather more conservative and careful as we approach, which I think the top of the market is going to be between April, May, or June. Now, there's nothing wrong though for you to always take in profits and to sell on your way up. I preach this to everyone in Kaizen. I even do this for myself, because no matter what, no matter how much you're up, you should always manage good exit strategies and sell on your way so that in the case there's a big drop, you always at least have something that you could take back home with. Now, a good tip is if you hit like a 2 to 3x pretty quick on a project, you can easily just take out your initial investment. You can take out your cost basis, so that way you can just put that back in your checking account and you actually never even lost money in crypto and you're only playing with house money. Now, I mentioned earlier in this video, guys, I learned a ton from just hitting my portfolio to $600,000 and then round tripping it down to zero. This actually happened because I had such poor emotional control over the last few weeks. I even myself felt greedy. I was like, okay, if I was able to make 600K in just a matter of a month, why not turn this into $1 million or even a couple million? If I found myself feeling this way, I know you guys are gonna go through the same exact thing too. So I just wanna always caution you guys to make sure that you just take your profits, don't get too greedy, and be okay with the set number that you want to make. I also realize that even for me, it's important always to be able to cut losses early on. There are times where I get so stubborn, and if a project's going down and I've lost 20K, 30K, 40K, I'll just keep diamond handing it. But I've learned that if I was able to just cut my losses early and accept that, I would have been in a much better place. The reason I almost round tripped is because I had some positions that I never sold. I just kept holding on to until it went lower and lower until I almost got liquidated. My lesson to you guys here is if something goes down, yes, it could recover, but I don't know all the projects you're buying. And I think there's going to be more projects that go to zero than the ones that end up surviving multiple cycles. So it's okay to always cut your losses. This market is still long. And if you didn't have a good streak, you maybe got liquidated recently, or you lost a couple grand here and there because you just haven't been a good trader or a long-term investor, it's okay because there's still room in this market to grow. That opportunity of time is closing, but you still have time for you to recoup your losses and make more than what you had before. But like I always say, just make sure you exercise caution and don't be investing into the market if you're tilted and you're just buying in because you want to recoup everything. Do it in a controlled manner. If you have a tendency to gamble or you have a very addictive personality, you may want to be really careful about all this. I would not even recommend any of this to anyone, even if you are a A+ person in human society without any kind of issues. So on the topic of greed, here's where I want to close it out. Proverbs 15:27 states, "The greedy bring ruin to their households, but the one who hates bribes will live." This part here warns that greed, an intense and selfish desire for wealth, can easily lead to destruction. Now, I know it's tough to not get greedy, especially when we're in a space like crypto. We're literally talking about money, looking at money, seeing how much money we can make. But I just want to caution all of you, we're going to have more cycles. It may not be as great as this, but there are going to be always more opportunities. If you lose out on this trade, there's going to be another one that comes up. Be patient and realize that you cannot build a house overnight. A good house is built brick by brick and over the course of a long period. And it comes through patience, trust, and developing your market edge, or in this instance of building the house, you're consistent. All right, I mentioned crypto.com earlier in this video, but I wanted to give them another huge shout out here for sponsoring this part of the video. Well, crypto.com CEO recently met with President Trump, so we also know that they got something cooking. Just a few days ago, crypto.com has also announced their partnership with Dutch Bank. Deutsch? I've heard different pronunciations of it. This year is massive because it's a crypto exchange that's going to allow banking. I've not actually seen this being done within the space. They're also coming out with a new feature where you can trade US stocks on there. And not only that, crypto.com launched its own US trust company called Crypto.com Custody Trust. So they're cooking up a lot, and they're pretty much creating this whole ecosystem between using crypto and different real financial products. Now, one product that they've had before I've seen anyone do within this space, ever since 2018, actually, guys, I made a YouTube video back then reviewing one of the Crypto.com debit cards. They have this product still, which if you're all in on crypto, you've made a lot of money on it, you want to spend your crypto, this is a great product to consider. With the Crypto.com Visa card, you can get your Netflix, Spotify subscription covered, you get lounge access, and for everything you spend on this card, you can earn crypto back on. So they have a whole bunch of tiers, folks. I mean, if you are a whale, I know people who actually own some of these higher tier cards that they do find value in. It's good to see an exchange like this that is expanding their horizon. And if you want to check them out, the link for that will be down below in the description, where I forgot the exact promo, $25, something like that. You can check it out. You'll get a better deal than if you were to just sign up on the public app exchange store. With that said, guys, I'm obviously rocking here the Kaizen merch. Where is it? If you guys want to check out Kaizen, I have a link for that down below in the description. We're currently on a wait list to join the group. The wait list is about 1 to 2 weeks. So it takes a little bit to come in because we're only admitting a couple hundred people every few days so that we can take care of and nourish our people coming in. But if you guys want to hop in on the wait list and join, I will also have a link for that down below. I'll do something special for the first 100 people people that use that link, you'll get a discount on your first month, or we'll give you a trial period. I'll talk with the team and hook you guys up there. Not only that, guys, but be sure to check out the other links where I turned my $3,000 portfolio to $600,000 actually happen on Blowfin. Blowfin is a futures trading exchange platform. You could use it in the US, and they also have a really good promotional offer where depending on how much you deposit, you can get up to an insane amount of free dollars back. I want to say it's $30,000, and I know my team is probably like, Brian, you should know all this. We get so many offers, okay? We're trying to hook you guys up all the time. So we have a link for that down below. If you are international, check out Bybit. They give a huge discount in trading fees or just free airdrops to members who use our link. So if you guys are outside of the US, you are international, check out Bybit. Last but not least, you want to use a VPN. I use Surfshark for everything to protect myself when I use the internet. So if you guys want to check that out, I will also have a link down below too. Thank you guys all so much again for watching today's video. Have an amazing day.